Welcome to the Do Something More podcast, the show all about service where we highlight the helpers who inspire us all to do something more. If you're passionate about nonprofits or looking for simple ways to volunteer and give back to the causes that matter to you, this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Melissa Draper. Stick around and I'll show you all the many ways anyone can truly make a difference in our world today. Welcome to this episode of the Do Something More podcast. Today, it's a solo episode, so it's going to be just me sharing some thoughts and ideas for something that's been on my mind for a little bit. And that's the idea of finding joy in the ways and the talents and the resources that we have to give back and serve with the world around us. And giving you the friendly reminder that you do not need to compare ever your efforts to those of the people around you, but simply focus on the good that you can do and the things that you feel uniquely inspired to do. So before we get into that today, I just want to give you the friendly reminder that wherever you listen to this podcast, if you could please follow or subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. And if you want to take it a step further, you could also leave a review. I would love to hear about maybe some of the episodes you've enjoyed listening to or that have stood out to you as I've done this podcast. And you can also follow the podcast on social media. I'm on Instagram at dosomethingmore.podcast or on Facebook at the Do Something More podcast. I always leave links to all of those in the show notes. You can come and follow me on social media as well. So this episode came from the fact that I've had many conversations, especially with women, with individuals who question if who they were and the way they contribute to the world was enough. And the feelings and thoughts that come to me every time in these conversations is I want to respond to them with an emphatic yes. Absolutely, they are enough. And they do so much good in the world, even if they don't always realize all the good that they are doing. And especially as I host and do this podcast on service, my goal is never to make someone feel like they aren't doing enough or to walk away feeling guilty or like they're falling short. My goal here is to help you see the joy that can be found in making service and giving back a natural and doable part of your everyday life. And of course, I love to share all of these examples of how others are going about doing that. But if I really want to show you how to make service a doable and actionable part of your life and for every person, that means it's going to look different for every person and even for every person at different stages of their life. We all have unique ways to give and things we feel called to do. So please don't let comparison ever rob you from the joy of discovering what you have to uniquely offer the world. And please don't ever leave an episode of this podcast feeling like you'll never measure up. Not everyone feels the stirrings to start a nonprofit, but all of us do have good thoughts and feelings come for how we can help and lift those around us. On that note, I wanted to share these thoughts I put together on comparison and using our gifts to help others. And I hope I can remind some beautiful soul who happens to find this episode and listens to it today that you can be you and you can serve and give in the ways that fit you and your personality and who you are. I want to start off with this quote that I heard years ago from Pat Holland. She was the wife of a former leader in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Jeffrey R. Holland. They have both since passed away, but I think this quote will resonate with many people. Here it is. Our Father in heaven needs us as we are growing to become. He has intentionally made us different from one another so that even with our imperfections, we can fulfill His purposes. My greatest misery comes when I feel I have to fit what others are doing or what I think others expect of me. I am most happy when I am comfortable being me and trying to do what my Father in heaven and I expect me to be. For many years, I tried to measure the oft-times quiet, reflective, thoughtful Pat Holland against the robust, bubbly, talkative, and energetic Jeff Holland and others with like qualities. I have learned through several fatiguing failures that you can't have joy in being bubbly if you are not a bubbly person. It is a contradiction in terms. I have given up seeing myself as a flawed person. Giving this up has freed me to embrace and rejoice in my own manner and personality. Somewhere, somehow, the Lord blipped the message onto my screen that my personality was created to fit precisely the mission and talents He gave me. I have found that I have untold abundant sources of energy to be myself. But the moment I indulge in imitation of my neighbor, I feel fractured and fatigued and find myself forever swimming upstream. When we frustrate God's plan for us, we deprive this world and God's kingdom of our unique contributions. I love this quote. First of all, because I have experienced similar thoughts and feelings with a bit of reversal with my spouse. I have many times tried to measure my passionate and expressive self to the quiet, reflective peacemakers of the world, like my husband. I have often found myself admiring and wishing I could be like him or others with similar qualities. But I have also found through my own fatiguing failures that you can't have joy in being a quiet person when you are naturally a very expressive person. Many times I felt like I was suffocating as I constantly tried to suppress the natural desire to jubilantly express my thoughts and feelings. I have slowly learned, like Pat Holland expressed in this quote, to stop seeing myself as a flawed person and to realize that I wouldn't have been given the gift of being able to express my feelings and put them into words if God hadn't wanted me to use it. And I want to add that it is good to want to recognize our weaknesses and want to work on them. We should. For example, I need to learn to be still and quiet at times. My husband needs to speak up at times, and that's not a bad thing. But we should also be careful to not go too far to wishing away the very gifts and qualities and personality traits that make us who we are and give us our ability to uniquely contribute to the world. Because of who you are, the personality you have, the experiences you have had in life, the challenges and the triumphs, you have a unique way of serving and reaching out to those around you. You don't need to question that the way you do things or the way you reach out to others isn't right or good enough because it looks different from the way your friend or neighbor or mother or sister does it. We all have unique gifts and talents, and we all have unique contributions to make. Please don't hesitate to serve or show love to someone because you're afraid that what you have to offer isn't good enough. With all the nonprofits I talk to and feature on this podcast, I could easily feel overwhelmed. I could focus on the fact that I do not measure up to all the good that these good people are putting out into the world and the hard work and time and effort that they are spending on these causes that matter so much to them. But it would be silly to beat myself up for that. Because, for one, I have never once had the thought to start a nonprofit. That's never something I've been feel called to do. But I have had the thought to do this podcast and to help shine light on the good they are doing. So that's what I do. None of us can do everything, and we're not meant to. But we all can do something. And that something will look a little different for each one of us. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I also want to add that I know that yes, there are times that we might get some nudges to improve from where we're at, or to change something, or to help in some way, maybe even in a new way that we never have before. I completely agree and believe that there are times we might need to be uncomfortable. We might need to realize that we could do more to help out than we're currently doing. Or there is something we need to stand up and speak out about or assist with in a way we never have before. But again, those opportunities are nudges towards growth and doing good. I like to think of them as little post-it notes that come along and say, hey, Have you thought about this? Or should you maybe be working on this? Or could you be helping with this? Those thoughts are little heads up post it notes. They are not sticks we should be perpetually beating ourselves with. So if you've received a nudge or feel like you're getting your own little post it note to action, all you simply need to do is think about how you can respond to it. Think about how you can act on that thought. Maybe even challenge yourself to serve and give in a new way. But again, we're not doing it because of comparison or wanting to fit what we think someone else wants us to be doing or what society thinks we should be doing or any of those expectations that sometimes come at us. We can do it because we genuinely feel some enticing feelings to reach out and to help in that way or to improve ourselves in that way. And when we respond to those little post it note signs that come in that way with encouragement and enthusiasm and maybe patience, sometimes we get them and it's a really busy season of life. We got to stick that post it note up for a little longer, but we can respond to those and we can feel good about the good we are doing because it's coming from a genuine place where we are acting on the good thoughts and feelings that we have received and responding to them in the way that we feel inspired. So that's my call and encouragement to you today. Quit comparing, quit worrying if the way you felt inspired to reach out or serve someone was right. Just do it. Act on the thoughts and feelings that come naturally to your life and respond to them in the ways you feel called to do. And have faith that God can take the good work you do and use it for His purposes every time. I hope as you listen to this podcast, you can feel inspired with the good stories that others are doing and not use it as a stick to beat yourself up with, but use it as inspiration and encouragement for your own life. Every person will reach out and do good in their own unique way. And what a blessing that there are so many nonprofits, there are so many causes, there are so many ways that we can serve and make a difference in our world today. So, as you heard me say, and I have said many times at the beginning of this podcast, stick with me and I'll show you the many ways that anyone can truly make a difference in our world today. And stick with me, and hopefully, you'll get inspiration for how you can uniquely go about doing good and changing the world right where you live. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. Again, follow, subscribe, leave me a review. I always appreciate each one of those. And of course, this week, I hope that you can find a way, in your own special way, to do something more to help lift, inspire, or make a difference.